Then they should be building more of these, not wasting time and money on a fungus.
Yeah, a fungus that can turn low-grade organic waste into edible proteins is pretty major. You're just worried that it will make this place redundant.
Sure. Good evening, madam. And what would you like for your meal tonight? Fungus grown on sewage or fresh fruit? What's wrong? I don't know. I've got a nasty suspicion the food dispenser crisis has led to some unauthorized fruit picking.
Well, don't look at me. I want dead stuff, not fresh fruit.
I think we may need to revise our security arrangements. Right. This is how it's going to be from now on. I want one of you here at all times, and you're to video anyone who goes near the fruit trees. Understood?
You're not expecting me to try that.
Why should you escape?
I think you should go first.
I have a child.
Okay. We'll do it together.
Okay. To the food of the future. On the count of 3?
Yep.
Okay. 1,
2,
3.
God!
Paula, where'd you get that from? I will go berserk when he finds out.
Well, who's going to tell him?
I am. Unless you give me half of it.
Houston, I think we have a problem. Commander.
Yep.
Have you checked your bank balance lately?
No? Why?
I suggest you do so right away.
I checked with control, and nobody's salary's been paid.
I know the company has troubles, but...
Are we going to get paid?
Well, yes, according to control. But they also said it's nothing to do with them because the company doesn't have a salaries section anymore.
What?
Apparently it's been hived off to an outside contractor to cut costs. It's an organisation called SDL Intercash. They're suggesting that the delay is probably just teething troubles.
It doesn't sound good, does it? If they're getting rid of their in-house salaries department, what's going to be next?
And that's the other piece of bad news. We've got a couple of visitors coming up to see us.
Sort of visitors.
Management consultants. Just another word for vulture.
Do you think they would close the place down?
Who knows what the company's thinking. But if they're sending up the money men, they're thinking about something. And don't forget, this place is getting old and it's getting competition.
Oh, you mean that new place, Hyperion?
Yep. If you want a piece of advice, I'd start surfing their recruitment webpage. When it comes to getting a new job, you've got a lot of advantages.
Yeah, like what?
Well, you're young, you're smart, and you've got experience in space. Whereas me, all I can do is get real fit real fast.
You can always try cosmetic surgery, but you may have to do the whole body.
Thanks. The change of image may not be a bad idea.
Kami, I need to counter-check the tests Paula has done on the drugs. They're not valid without your signature.
Yes,
She said you've been busy?
in a manner of speaking.
Job hunting.
No personal business. I fear I may have let my work slide a little.
I don't think anyone's got their mind on work much. They're more worried about keeping their job. Well, it's not my issue anymore.
I suppose not. Listen, have you decided where you're going to live when you return to Earth?
Not yet. Open wide. I need your reaction to this stuff.
Oh yeah, the fungus. Have you considered living in London?
No, why?
Well, because if you have, I have this...
I don't like London. What's this about?
Nothing. Nothing. Now, Harry, is there something else? I have things to do.
The fungus.
Oh, that. Disgusting.
Any news on our pay?
Nope. They're just going to have to be patient.
How patient? I have lawyers still to pay.
Harry, I'm as concerned about getting my salary as you are, but I do have other things to worry about right now, like a year's worth of reports that have to be written in 6 days. Can I help you? Thanks, but no, they're confidential. Hello, Walter.
What? Oh. Okay, let's get this out in the open. Now, I'm just trying this out, just to see if a change of style suits me, yeah? Is that okay with you two?
Yep.
Then, that's it. Subject's closed.
Yes, Walter. Yeah.
Listen, Catherine, I've got to get at my leave records for the last 10, 12 years or so.
Right. That could be difficult.
Why?
It's this stupid policy about farming out administrative work. Your leave records will be with these people who are supposed to be paying us.
It's SDI...
Intercash, yes.
Yeah, look, this is really important.
You could email them.
Yeah, right, good. I'll do that.
Walter, what's this all about?
Right. Let's see if that makes any difference. That's it. I'm not touching this thing again until we get replacement control chips.
You think they're actually going to send them?
They said they're sending some they, quote, think might work.
I think maybe we should wait for Jason to get back.
Why? Anyway, what makes you think he'll be coming back?
Why, do you know something?
I got an email from him.
And?
Sorry, I really shouldn't have said anything.
Well, you can't drop hints and then clam up. What's he up to?
He's been offered a job. Head of avionics at the Mendocino Space Corporation.
Is he going to take it?
He hasn't decided yet. But he said he could have a quiet word with someone if I wanted a job there.
Just you?
Oh, I see. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I'm not interested.
Well, it's all right for you to say you've had the offer. Thank you, Jason.
Painkillers. I've got a headache.
Not surprised. Catherine, have you got 5 minutes?
Oh, Paula, I'm really busy.
And it's given you a headache, but maybe listening to me whinge about my problems will take your mind off yours.
Okay. I can take a short whinge.
Look, I know all these reports you're writing are confidential, but off the record, should I be applying for other work?
Believe me, I've asked myself the same question, and I don't know the answer.
I just don't want people thinking I'm running out if I start looking.
No, I won't think that. And you wouldn't be the first.
Yeah, I know about Deason. Not that it looks like pushing work my way.
Well, would you want to be in his debt like that?
No. But I would like to know whether I'm going to be in work in 6 months or not.
Yep. Well, maybe these management consultants can answer that.
Yeah, maybe. I've just got a nasty feeling I know what that answer will be.
No, I do not want improved medical cover. Or...
Commander Shannon, I represent A&M Law, and I'm acting on behalf of Mrs. Jane Hopkins of San Diego, California. Commander, will you stand by to receive notice of a formal allegation against you by Mrs. Hopkins?
80 meters to capture. Arm clamps. Initiate pressurization sequence. 50 meters to capture. Now what?
The airlocks, they're not closed.
What?
Close the... Shuttle engaging. Proximity operations complete. Shuttle engaged. Walter.
I know. I'm sorry. It's my fault.
Listen, is something wrong? You've been acting like you're on another planet.
I just had my whole world turned upside down. I got an email from California, from some lawyers about a incident I was involved in 11 years ago in San Diego.
So, what did you do in San Diego?
Well, if I told you I had a 10-year-old daughter I knew nothing about, could you figure out what I did in San Diego?
Walter.
Ted Lansing.
Hi, Michelle Stock. Paula Hernandez.
Ah, yes. A graduate in microbiology. Research includes work on cell synthesis and leukemia vaccine.
You're well informed.
That's the key to what we do, Paula.
Cave, for the last time, I don't want to buy your apartment in London.
You're turning down a bargain, Walter. Ideal for your retirement.
I don't want to retire. And look, if I did want to buy an apartment in London, I'd go to one of their real estate agents or whatever the Brits call them.
State agents.
Right. But you're a doctor, right? Now, all I want to know is, can you do a DNA comparison for me?
Yes, but why? What for?
When you tell me why you're so hot to sell your apartment in London, I'll tell you why I want a DNA comparison.
I still think we're wasting our time.
Well, you could be right, but there may be more than 2 options for this place.
Not with Hyperion about to launch. This place makes money because it's a monopoly. Soon it won't be.
True, but I don't like the idea of only providing 2 scenarios. It suggests a lack of imagination. Clients don't like it.
Which clients are we talking about?
Well, that all depends on what we find out.
Oh, she's a bitch, and he's good at turning on the charm.
Oh, the old nice cop, nasty cop act. I think a little net surfing is required. See what I can find out about them.
Look, before you get started, I wondered if I could buy some fruit off you. I'm getting so bored of eating the same 4 meals out of the dispenser.
Now, why ask about buying? Nothing to do with the fact that it's now theft-proof.
Lyle, I wouldn't dream of stealing your fruit. That's why I'm asking about buying.
Sorry, but the answer's no. I know it sounds a little harsh, but it's the start of a slippery slope.
What?
Well, the hydroponicum is a scientific experiment. If I agree to sell produce, I'll taint it with commercialism.
Lyle, I just want a couple of apples. I'm not intending to float it on the stock market.
It's the principle. Somebody has to make a stand against profit-driven science.
And that's you.
Well, no one else is doing it.
Let me start with some good news. Miss Stock and myself have been applying some discreet pressure, and we can tell you your salaries will be paid into your bank accounts within 48 hours.
Will we be paid interest?
Well, why should you be? Your salary's only been delayed by 3 days.
Well, I've been doing a little research into SDL Intercash, and they're well known for this sort of trick.
Trick, Mr. Campbell?
They get the money from a company to pay the wages bill. But when it comes to paying the salaries, there's often a highly convenient computer problem, which means they get to keep hold of the money for an extra 3 days and collect the interest.
Even if that were true, Mr. Campbell, it just shows that SDL has what it takes to survive in the market. I'm not sure the same can be said about the Unity Corporation.
Are you saying Unity's gonna fold?
No, but with Unity's monopoly about to be broken, there are serious questions to be asked about utilization of capital assets and the knock-on effect vis-a-vis liquidity and debt ratios.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't speak jargon.
Then let me translate. The Unity Corporation is in bad shape. The bottom line is they're overextended and looking for ways to save money. With Hyperion about to launch, closing this place down will make a lot of financial sense.
But that doesn't mean we necessarily agree with that diagnosis. As management consultants, our aim is to suggest a future for the station, which means we need facts, opinions, and open-mindedness. If we get those, we're halfway to drawing up a rescue plan.
Could I ask another question?
Later. We won't have any answers until we have a good look around, and we intend to start that process straight away. Ted?
Yes, no time to waste. We'll catch you all later.
She does look like you.
Yeah, the shape of the mouth and the color of the hair is the same as mine. I mean, before I...
Oh. Dyed your hair to fool them, did you?
I hope you're not suggesting I duck my responsibilities.
Oh, it was a joke, Walter. Forgive me, in poor taste.
I knew that. Look, I'm sorry. I just don't know how I feel about this whole thing.
I can understand that. Having a child's a big thing to come to terms with. It changed my life.
Yeah, well, at least you knew it was going to happen. I mean, somebody didn't phone you up out of the blue and say, oh, I suppose you forgot all about it, but 10 years ago you gave birth to a child. Now it's payback time.
You are sure you're the father?
Well, the lawyers in California are emailing the child's DNA records along with the mother's.
What was she like? Candy's mother?
Well, that's the most embarrassing part of the whole thing. You see, I can hardly remember a thing about her.
This is a truly impressive piece of science.
I like to think it's a bit special.
It's unique.
Oh, thank you.
That's not a compliment. If nobody's copied the idea, there's something wrong with the product.
It's not a product.
Ah!
Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't I tell you about the taser? Don't worry, the feeling will come back.
Very impressive, Lyle. A man should know how to protect his business assets. And that's what this is. You see, Lyle, you're a scientist. That means you see this apple as a miracle of hydroponics technology. I see it as a marketing opportunity. Space fruit. The latest exotic and highly priced novelty to hit the food malls.
We could put a picture of you on the packaging.
In a hat.
Cousin Lyle's space fruit, a taste of the cosmos, grown in the unique purity of outer space.
This is a scientific experiment. It's not supposed to pay for itself.
Well, that's right. In an ideal world, of course, all science would be conducted in a spirit of disinterested inquiry. But, well, old man, we don't live in an ideal world. You know, it's truly amazing the amount of stars you can see from here. It's always made me feel a little humble and ignorant. And I've never known the names of the constellations.
Who does? They're all to do with Greek myths. You're looking at 3,000-year-old brand names.
So, what you're saying is that you don't know when Chuck's going to be back to Earth. Is that it, Mrs. Vanderberg?
Please, Walter, it's Dorothy.
Yeah, sorry. So you don't know when Chuck's going to be home, Dorothy?
No, Walter, I don't, but I'll be sure to give him your message. What was it again?
I need to know some details about a leave we had together in San Diego a few years ago.
Right, leave in San Diego. I'll write it down. But Walter, you haven't told me how you are. Still single?
Yeah, I'm still single, I think.
Still looking for the right girl, huh?
Yep.
Well, good luck finding her. Bye, Walter.
Bye, Mrs. Dorothy.
Commander, are you busy?
You're a scientist, Lyle. Work it out.
This won't take long. Guess what I've discovered? SDL Intercash's management structure. Recognize the names of the management consultants?
Lansing and Stock. Interesting. But what does it prove?
No, it proves they lied to us. At least by omission. They didn't say anything about this at the briefing. Doesn't it make you wonder what else they might be hiding?
I really don't have time to wonder. Anyway, management consultants always have some sort of hidden agenda.
And you're not going to make any effort to find out what it is?
Lyle, even if they were willing to tell me, I still only know where they were coming from, not anyone else. The way things are right now, everyone's got their own agenda. Maybe no one can see the whole picture.
So, you're just going to wait?
Well, sometimes waiting is the only sensible policy.
That is not my definition of leadership.
Yes, well, that could explain why you're not commanding this station. Is that all?
I'm impressed. It's a research record to be proud of. Especially when you consider this equipment as wholly state-of-the-art.
That's the understatement of the decade. It comes under depreciation and tax loss account.
Why don't you recommend a new lab?
Well, it's a nice idea. Would you fit a brand new engine in a clapped-out car?
No. You throw old things away.
And put us out of a job.
I can't see someone with your qualifications being out of work for very long.
That's not the point. The station still has years of useful life left in it.
Now, scientifically, yes. Financially, no.
Not unless there was a major reappraisal of research priorities.
Which allowed for recapitalization based on a shallower cost-benefit return.
Which means?
And the two priority ideas require more accommodation. The plans say we could fit 4, maybe 5 bedrooms on the sub-level below here.
4, if we want the rooms to be much bigger than coffins.
Oh, Mr. Lansing, Miss Stock.
Dr. Homayuni, you seem anxious about something. Can we help?
I was wondering if you gave financial advice.
Well, that's the general idea.
I meant advice on personal finance, raising money, that sort of thing.
Yes, you need to talk about it.
Yes, and it's a matter of some urgency.
But this isn't the time or place.
Of course. Later then.
Our guest can see a future for the science tech.
Oh, yeah?
Unity could be reconfigured to exploit a loophole in the genetic paint industry.
But that would mean they could use this place to bootleg existing genetics technologies and experiment with materials banned on Earth.
He tried to soften the blow, but she was explicit. In a way, I'm glad I'm leaving anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Harry, are you there?
Yes, Walter, what is it?
I can't talk over the tannoy. Can you come to my berth?
I'll be right there. Come on, Walter. I've already promised I won't laugh.
You better not.
I think I preferred you dark.
Yeah, but can you do anything about this?
Let's see where you went wrong the first place.
Hey, that stuff's private. Oh, go ahead. Catherine knows. And you, well, you've got a daughter of your own.
What, are you too?
Yeah, apparently. We still haven't had the DNA comparisons done yet, but the resemblance is unmistakable.
How do you feel about it?
I don't know. Uncertain, confused. Maybe I should just pay the money and get the hell out of the way.
Come on, Walter. That's not like you, and you know it. You think your daughter doesn't want to see her real father?
Yeah, you're right. That's a terrible thing to say about my own daughter. Listen to me. I never thought I'd hear myself say those words. My own daughter.
See? You're getting there.
More from WFS TV after the
That's a
break.
pity. One more star and I'd be there.
Did you catch that? Ocean Wanderers owners have lost the appeal. They're going to have to take the ship out of commission.
That's going to disappoint a lot of rich people. And it's good news for us. I say that takes the off-world tax break plan to the top of the list.
Yeah, well, if we're going to go for that, we have to move fast. Otherwise, somebody else is going to get there first.
When did I ever let someone steal a march on me? Hey, come and have a look at what I've just spotted.
Excuse me, what are you doing with those charts?
Logos, Commander.
What?
Logos. Corporate logos on a scale never dreamt of before. The symbols of our great multinationals spelt out in stars.
You're seriously proposing to redesign the constellations?
Well, why not? The old layout's a lash-up. It's amateurish. I mean, look at this. Pisces. You'd have to be hallucinating to think that looks like a fish.
But if you include these two stars from Pegasus, it's the WorldChem logo. Though I can see you're not impressed, Commander.
No. Nor am I impressed by your, to say the least, evasions over your role in SDL Intercash, in which it appears you have a major influence.
That's putting it a bit strongly. We report to a board of directors.
Yes, all of whom are over 80 and live in a notorious tax haven.
I'd say that's a triumph for our anti-ageism policy.
Would you? I'd say it's a good reason for asking what else you're hiding.
Commander, we can put the same question to you. You're turning out reports about this place that we'll never get to see.
Really?
Yes, really. Your reports are going to a completely separate arm of the company with an agenda that we know nothing about. I know it doesn't seem like it, but we've got something major in common. We're both just tiny cogs in a very big machine.
And does that excuse what you're proposing for the science deck?
We're management consultants. Our job is to get the best deal we can for our clients. We don't expect to be popular.
Then you're not going to be disappointed.
So when the hell will you know?
I'm doing it as fast as I can, but I have other things to attend to.
I thought you said that the only action around here was the drugs test.
I said I'll do it as quickly as possible. And I have to point out that I'm doing you a favor. This is not covered by your medical insurance.
Okay. And I appreciate it. You'll have figured out by now that this is to do with a paternity test. And I like to get the results as fast as I can. It seems like I could have a daughter.
Congratulations. If congratulations are in order.
Well, I was a little confused at first, but now I'm hoping that I am her father. It'd be nice to be part of a family again. Family gives life meaning.
Yes, life would be very different without our families.
Okay, I think that's done it. Who wants to go first?
Me! Whenever there's danger, I lead from the front.
Very funny. What do you want?
Tacos and beef chili.
And I'll have the cod Monet.
I'll pass.
Thank you.
Lyle, what is this? Chili with strawberry jam?
And this Mornay sauce tastes like custard?
Well, if anyone else thinks they can do any better, they're more than welcome to try.
Oh, man, you ought to cater funerals. I mean, who ever heard of strawberry chili? Beef with fruit? I mean, this got to be a world's first.
Actually, Walter, the Italians do a dish of beef and grapes. Manzo per un dio con I capelli d'oro. Beef for a golden-haired god.
Not exactly appropriate. Beef for a bottle brunette Cabbage Patch doll would be more accurate.
Oh.
If he's going to take the mickey out of my repair job, his hair colour is fair game.
Well, I'll take that back.
I'm not apologising until you do.
For what? For pointing out that you screwed up?
it's like being in a school playground till you guys grow up.
Anyone else think they can do any better? Try it. I'm sick of the lot of you.
Oh. Cuckoo.
I know things have been quiet recently, but I expect research contracts will pick up again soon.
Somehow I don't think so. People are beginning to realize that nothing you can do up here can't be done on Earth.
Or on Hyperion. You know, such a waste. A man of your talents, and what work have you been offered lately? Basic safety checks on drugs about to be licensed for medical use.
For which Unity receives money.
True, but it must be frustrating just checking over other people's work. I mean, there's this new anticoagulant, thialamine. Apparently it's revolutionary, and all you do is look over the results.
When it's a foregone conclusion, they're going to license it.
Yes, but it's far from a foregone conclusion.
Well, I know the truth can be painful, but frankly, if I was you, I'd be looking for another job. For one thing, you can earn much better money somewhere else.
Yes, but right now my financial problems are short-term. That's why I need your advice.
Fire away, Doctor.
I need to raise a large sum, 10,000, and I need it immediately. But no one's lending.
Because in the real world, there's been a stock market crash. I mean, why do you think the company's in trouble? Have you got anything you could sell?
No, not quickly enough.
Well, there could be an answer. If you want to raise money really quickly.
Yes.
We have clients with big investments in pharmaceutical companies. You carry out tests on drugs.
That's a monstrous suggestion.
Michelle.
Sorry, have I gone too far?
You want to take your leave immediately if the DNA test proves positive?
Well, there's no point in wasting time.
Yeah. And what then? How long do you think you'll stay?
I don't know. It depends if I'm needed, how I feel. I'm all very new to this. I suppose I'll come back up here, but I did miss the first 10 years of her, well, Candy's life. It's only natural that I should want to spend some time with her, get to know her even.
You know, I would understand if you didn't want to come back. Especially with the way things are.
Yeah, well, it's crossed my mind there may not be anything to come back to.
Crossed mine too, Walter.
Any chance I could get a go in 0G?
It's not a circus ride.
Well, that's where you're wrong. This place has huge leisure potential. There are good financial arguments for turning it into a casino.
A casino in 0G? How would the roulette wheel work?
Well, we wouldn't put the casino in there. No, that would be available for people who wanted to try out weightless sex.
What?
I assume it's physically possible.
I wouldn't know.
And you wouldn't be interested in finding out?
No.
Whatever happened to scientific curiosity?
Paula? Paula, what's up? Have I done something wrong?
Yeah, you brought that bitch on board.
Oh dear, what's Michelle said now?
Oh, she came to find me in the science lab, wanting to know if it's possible to have weightless sex in 0G.
Ah, the casino option.
Oh, you know about it, do you?
Look, I'm going to level with you. The casino isn't top of the list, but it's an option. Things staying the same isn't an option. It's not me that decided that, it's market forces.
People like you always use that excuse.
It's not an excuse, it's fact. And if you stop for a minute to think, you'd see I'm right. Someone in your position should be looking for a way out, like Hyperion.
No, I'm not running. When they decide to close the place down, then I'll start looking, not before.
It's good advice, Paula. And sending off for an application commits you to nothing. Think about it.
It's a match. There's less than one chance in 100 million that you're not the father.
Really? Wow. Look at that. I'm a father. Who'd have believed it? Kaveh, you got anything we can celebrate with? Maybe a little medicinal brandy?
Sorry, Walter. I'm very pleased for you, but I'm not in a mood for celebrations.
Kaveh, you know that tact isn't my strong suit, so I'm going to ask the question everybody else has been wanting to ask. What the hell's wrong?
It's personal and confidential.
Well, so was my news until a moment ago. Look, if you don't want anyone to know, I won't tell.
Walter, I've got a real problem. Or rather, my family has. My parents are in danger, caught in a war zone.
Oh, they lived in Paris.
They do. They went home for a family wedding. You do know where home is?
Yeah, I saw the news footage. There's a big storm brewing there.
Well, as soon as it started, they tried to get out, but they were a little too slow. Now they're trapped in a border town. I've spent the last 4 days trying to raise the money to get them out.
Well, why didn't you tell the commander? Maybe we could have helped. Why do you keep it to yourself?
What I'm doing is illegal. I'm trying to bribe officials to let my parents go. Do you think I wanted to advertise the fact?
Who cares whether it's legal or not? You gotta get them out. And look, this cannot remain confidential. We have to go to Catherine and tell her.
Harvey, you should have told me.
Maybe I should have. I don't know. All I know is that if I can't get the money to them, I'll have to go down myself. And don't, please, list your objections, Catherine. I can list them for you. I'm not a soldier. I could be kidnapped and held hostage myself. Others could be more helpful in this situation. And this kind of emergency return to Earth isn't covered by company procedures.
It's not company procedures that worry me. It's the other objections that do.
I'll bear that in mind, but I've already decided. When is the next available shuttle?
Well, I'm afraid it's the one arriving in 12 hours to take Lansing and stock back.
It still feels good. In fact, now the news is set in, it feels even better.
Your daughter's lucky to have a father who wants to know.
You know, I've been thinking. I wired her mother 1,000 credits so she could splash out on a few things. But maybe I should get the kid something myself. But she's a 10-year-old girl. I mean, do you have any ideas?
Depends on how much you're thinking you're spending. When I was her age, I wanted a pony.
A pony? Are you serious? Lyle, hold on. Listen, Lyle, why don't we shake and make up? I'm feeling in a forgiving mood.
I know. I heard about your daughter. Congratulations. But you're in a forgiving mood. That implies I was in the wrong.
Look, Lyle, I'm just trying to patch things up. If you're going to take that attitude, forget it.
Lyle, what the hell is wrong with you? He was just trying to be reasonable.
I'll tell you what's wrong with me. I'm actually concerned about what happens to this place. Everyone else around here is so wrapped up in their own affairs, they seem to have stopped caring.
That's not it at all. We all care. But you know, some of us have other things in our lives.
Meaning I'm a sad obsessive with not much else to live for.
That's not what I said.
It's what you meant.
You'll be taking your crew member back with you on the shuttle.
Is that so? Well, you are aware that the shuttle's officially chartered by our consultancy, which means...
Miss Stock, if you even mention payment, I will not be answerable for my actions.
Of course we won't be asking for payment. It's simply that we'll have to account for the extra cargo. Who's coming with us?
Dr. Homayuni.
What's his problem?
He's been granted compassionate leave.
Why, someone died?
His family are caught up in the trouble in the Gulf. He's going to see if he can get them out.
Well, that's bad news. Poor guy. You can tell him we leave in 6 hours.
Paula. Right.
That's half of my salary going straight into my lawyer's account.
Are you still thinking of some sort of job when you go back down?
You, of course, have already decided on your next career move.
What are you talking about, Lyle? What is it?
The Hyperion Corporation is pleased to announce that space microbiologist Paula Hernandez has been accepted onto a training program which will lead to a permanent post on the new Hyperion orbiting platform.
But I only asked for an application.
You're saying it's a mistake?
Of course it's a mistake. As I told you, I'm not leaving until I absolutely have to.
Pretty big mistake.
You calling me a liar?
Explain it.
I've been set up, and I think I can guess who by.
Hi. Anyone home? Do you fancy an apple?
You saw what happened last time. Thanks. So, what do you think of the show so far?
Pretty good. Like I said, it was worth taking a look around. I'd never have come up with the Constellations idea without coming up here.
You tell us the results of the drug tests and nobody will ever know. Not even the clients we pass them on to.
Michelle's right, Doctor. It'd just look like we'd outguessed the market again. And we do keep our word.
And you're wasting time, Doctor. We can get the money to the right people in hours. And we already know who the right people are.
I took the liberty of phoning certain friends in the Gulf. They've located your parents.
You see? You have the contacts, we have the information. You can end this nightmare fast. Do you think the drug companies you work for would lift a finger to help you? Why should you owe them any loyalty?
Or do you think you owe them more loyalty than you owe your family?
All we need to do is make one call.
Get out of here.
Well, luckily for you, we won't assume that's your final word.
When you think it over, Doctor, neither will you.
Nancy, you do this.
Okay, I confess.
We know some people. We put a word in for you without asking me.
Paul, the competition for those jobs is going to be intense, and I hate to see someone with the right talent miss an opportunity.
That's not the issue. I said I wasn't applying, just asking. I said no.
Lots of people say no when they really mean yes. Women especially.
You going to be okay to do the briefing?
Yes. Looks worse than it is.
So what option do we go for?
Well, with the Ocean Wanderer out of commission, I'd say it has to be the tax haven.
Sounds good to me.
Come in. It's all right, Doctor. I don't need medical help. But that's not what you've come to offer.
Yeah, Shannon here.
Walter, it's me, Chuck Vanderberg.
Oh, Chuck, hey, how you doing, man?
I got a message from my mother. You wanted to talk about that wild time we had in San Diego 11 years back?
Yeah, Chuck, I do.
Well, strange you should ask.
This station's main problem is called Hyperion. When it launches, it's going to take a lot of work from this place. It's not that Hyperion will do the work better or more cheaply, it's just prestige. New against the old. And people like to go for the new.
Which leaves us with two options. Closure or a total reconfiguration.
Our report recommends option 2, a total reconfiguration.
Into what?
Has anyone heard of the Ocean Wanderer?
It's a huge cruise ship for the ultra-rich. They live in it for extended periods of time to avoid paying tax. It's even got its own bank.
And the new law of the sea makes it redundant. But there's always a huge demand for that sort of facility. And Unity is off-world.
You're going to turn this into a tax haven for the super rich?
Well, it would take a considerable amount of modification. And even then it would mainly function as off-world bank. Immune from
Did you say bank? That's just the sort of two-bit quasi-legal idea I expect from people like you. Let me tell you something. No self-respecting astronaut would have anything to do with this.
Well, it's a shame you think like that. Because I could see a role for you.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
You've got just the right face for a bank security man. Investors like someone who looks like you, rugged and reliable, but not quite clever enough to work out how to steal the money.
That's enough.
Easy there, Walter. You wouldn't hit a woman.
No, you're right. Oh! I wouldn't.
There's still a place for you on the shuttle. Thought you might like to touch base with your parents. Especially since it was your good sense that saved them.
It's enough to know they're on the way out of there, and though I'd like to touch base with them, it's overridden by the wish to avoid any more of your company. Oh, sorry, was that painful?
Yes.
Careful with him. There is such a thing as the Hippocratic Oath.
Don't talk to me about ethics. You forced me into compromising mine.
Oh, come on, Doctor. Our clients got what they wanted, and you got your parents back, and nobody got hurt.
And you call that a happy ending?
Wouldn't you?
Sorry.
What a pair of
Scumbags.
Yeah, efficient scumbags. You've left me with a real problem. If I contact Hyperion now and tell them I'm not interested, what happens? I may need a job there later.
I don't have an answer. You were set up by experts.
You know what made it easy for them? The company turning over all its records to outfits like SDL.
Ah, yeah, of course. So as soon as they got your medical records, they knew what your DNA looked like.
Exactly. That made it simple for them to produce a fake DNA scan of a non-existent daughter. And the photograph? That's me too. Yeah, they took an old photograph of me and morphed me into a 10-year-old girl. They tried the same scam with Chuck Vandenberg.
But he didn't fall for it.
No. I mean, Chuck had the same relationship as I had with Candy's mother, but, well, a few years before, Chuck took a heavy hit of radiation. He can't have children. He knew the kid couldn't be his.
Oh, Walter.
At least I found out before I got stung for too much money. I mean, there must be people still paying. Well, I get to keep my money. The trouble is, I can't think of anything that's worth spending it on anymore.
Okay, who stole it? Catherine, I've discovered something very, very interesting.
Lyle, whenever you discover something interesting, someone gets the rough edge of your tongue. First me, then Paula.
I was out of order with her and you, and I'm sorry. But look at this. One of the roads recorded it.
What do you think of the show so far?
If we recommend the tax saving is accepted by the board, all the A-list clients should hold on to the Unity shares and buy more. All the other options are going to make the share price drop, at least for a while.
Meaning A-list clients sell Unity and buy Hyperion.
That's right. B-list clients get told to hang on to their Unity shares. After all, we don't want the Unity Corporation to crash. At least not until they've paid us.
I hate to rain on your parade, but, what if the board decide to keep this place as it is?
They won't. They'll save my reputation on that. Even though there is some sort of scientific case for keeping things as they are.
Yeah, but the only people willing to argue that are the crew. And they're as demoralized as hell.
I can't help thinking we helped the process along.
Well, completely unintentionally.
Of course.
Clear evidence of insider dealing.
Well, whatever you may be hoping, Lyle, it's not going to put those two in the dock. And for a start, there'll be a big question about whether that recording was obtained legally.
You mean you're not going to use it?
If I thought it would make any difference, yes. But, I mean, how many members of the Unity board are going to have covered themselves by quietly buying into Hyperion? They're not going to want to rock the boat.
I've said I was sorry for, well, my behavior and my remarks. But a demoralized crew don't need a demoralized commander.
Oh, come on. Nor do they need a commander who won't face facts. I spent the last 5 days looking at every activity we carry out here.
You're not implying that these two are right about the station. They've already said there's a clear scientific case for keeping Unity as it is.
But not a financial one. And that's what matters.
Seems they've run this scam before. They always pick on people like me. Astronauts, oil rig workers. But I'm not going to whine. I'm going to do something positive. If I can't have a child, well, maybe I can do something for a child. Like Miranda.
Miranda? My daughter Miranda?
Mm-hmm. When I thought Candy existed, well, then all those years of saving and being careful suddenly made sense. Well, I want them to still make sense. That's why I'd like to leave my money to Miranda in my will.
Well, I think I'm supposed to give you all different kind of reasons why this is a bad idea, but if you're sure.
Well, it's not going to do me any good when I'm gone. And this would make me feel a whole lot better.
You're an old sentimentalist, Walter.
Maybe. But at least I know somebody's future will be secure.
It was unethical and illegal.
It was a choice between my parents and medical ethics. In other words, no choice at all.
I know that. But as your commander, I have no choice. I have to suspend you immediately.
I realize this isn't mitigation, but I gave them the wrong results.
What?
Their reputation as stock market tipsters is going to take a serious nosedive. Neither of those drugs is going to be licensed. I wrote fake conclusions to both reports.
But surely they'd find out, and then what would happen to your parents?
My parents' plane landed 20 minutes ago. They're safe.
Carvey, there is a principle here.
My resignation will be on your desk within an hour.
I won't accept it just now. The future of this station is far from bright. We could all be leaving anyway.
Do you really think there's no future for this place?
I don't know. It's in the hands of accountants. I forget what physicists say. It's money that makes the world go round.